Warning, this video is only for 14 and up, and if you're under, please leave this video, because I will not be accused of something I don't want to be accused of. Please, if you're under, leave the video. Stories go through the air. You can listen and you cannot. But stories are here to help. Understand what is right and what is wrong. But sometimes stories can do the opposite. There's no right or wrong. You have to form your own opinion. But that is not what you're here for. You're here to listen to this silly little god of this channel. Listens to his mind going on about his stories, about the different worlds where he's traveling to, and where he can make some small different in a timeline. Welcome to the Blue Mask What If channel. Hello everybody, this is Blue Mask and welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys will enjoy my video, and let's begin. Hello everybody, sorry about that, I had to move a chair. Welcome back to my channel, and like I said in the intro, hope you guys will enjoy this. It's a maybe series, it's maybe a one-shot off, or if you guys really like it, and if you really want to see this series going through season 1, then leave a comment and I will decide if I'm gonna continue or not. So mostly up to you. It's a maybe for me, but I want to see if you guys will enjoy it. So, this is what if Belle Cranel was a Sheikah. Now, a little backstory here. Belle Cranel is not a, well, he's not from Zeus and Hera. Let's say in this universe, Hyrule is in Danmachi, and has been there for many years. The gods went down like after the whole calamity happened with Breath of the Wild. That game happened, then the other one happened as well. In this one, Alfia is only one. She's the only sister of her familia. Well, she's the only sister, so she's an only child. Materia doesn't exist at all. So yeah, Belle Cranel is not born into the Hera or Zeus familia. He's instead born into a different family, this being the Sheikah head. Meaning that he is the son, or if you could, yeah, he's the son of Paya. Yeah, that Paya, the Tears of the Kingdom's chief Paya, has a husband and have given birth to children. One of them being Belle. Wait, there's no last name, right? No, her name is just Paya. I haven't heard her actual last name. I heard Zelda's last name. What the fuck is Paya's? What the fuck is Impa's last name? Let's say it's unoriginal. Paya Tsukuyomi. Fuck, Tsukuyomi. Paya Tsukuyomi is the actual Paya from the game. So yeah, she gave birth to Belle and his siblings. But that is not where we start, it's a little more backstory to it. But if you guys want more, I can tell more backstory. I have a whole bunch of stories in mind. But it's a maybe series. Maybe I will post it sometimes, maybe I'll not. So, Belle is, like I said, son of Paya. He is in the Sheikah Royal Guard, meaning he is protecting the royal family. This being of Link and Zelda and his sons and daughters. But he's only a royal Sheikah guard for one of the princesses, the middle child of, well, the kingdom. This is just backstory. I'm sorry. This is just backstory for you guys. Isuku, fuck. Belle is the royal guard of the middle princess. She has an older brother and a younger sister. She's the middle child. And Zelda has changed the rules about the name. So not every princess is gonna name Zelda. It's just have to start with a C. So this princess's name is Celine. No, that's a C, right? No, is that a Z or no? That's a C. Celine is not. No, that's an S. I would have said Stella, but no, that's an S, not a C. Said. Okay, let me use the British kind of alphabet here. Said. So said like Zelda. Zelda. Said. So. Okay, yeah, I get you the British name. So. Fuck. Name with a C. That's a girl's name. No, that's Sword. That's Zeus. Sadine? Maybe that will work? Sadine? Her name is Sadine. Her younger sister's name is Silly. Fuck it, I have no idea for female names that starts with a C or set. So yeah, Sana. Maybe Sana? Is that a name? Why do I remember boys' names? Like, literally, there's no female names except for Zelda and no, that's a name. Fuck it. The princess name has a C in it, but Belle, I was almost gonna say Isuku. Belle only says princess to her to respect her. So yeah, Belle is a Sheikah guard for this princess. But I will not spoil this in this episode, or maybe just I'll answer it in another thing. But something happened at the royal family house that Belle had to do something he had to do, but it was towards a friend he thought he could trust. But now he doesn't, and he doesn't feel, let's say, okay. So Belle has requested to leave the palace. And because of this, Belle has, well, at first he didn't say this, but he have gotten some information from a traveling merchant that was going through Hyrule Castle that was still rebuilding, but still looking, well, still is now well built up, almost to its former glory. It was these traveling merchants told about a city towards the north. Fuck, I always forget. Over the seas, let's say that. Over the sea, no. over the mountains that was up north for them. That's actually north for Orario. Over those mountains and a little bit away to some other mountains, there is a city where God has come down to, and Bell has asked for more information. At that point, when he heard this, so these people explain that gods are real and they have fallen down from heaven to help their familiar challenge the dungeon, a dangerous, highly place where monsters appears. Bell have heard this and gotten all the information he could from these merchants, and walked up to the king and queen of Hyrule and asked, "Can I leave to search for Goddess Hylia?" At this point in time, people have noticed that Bell, after that incident, has been acting off. I mean, really fucking off for being a guard. So him requesting to leave the service of his princess to search for their goddess that maybe not even fallen yet, as the people said they fall down from heaven, or Tenkai as they call it, down from Tenkai down to Earth. The king and queen didn't want to, but the eyes of Bell, knowing him since he was a kid or a baby, knowing him and knowing maybe he's not feeling good being here anymore, they allowed this, shocking everyone in the court when a Sheikah that's protecting a princess asked to leave. So Bell thanks them, and asks if he found her, if he actually found Goddess Hylia, because he doesn't think it's an errand fool. It's a journey with. It's a maybe question if he's gonna find her. So he asks, if I find her, if it's actually her, what can I give her if she doesn't want to return to Hyrule? And he got a box from the king and queen, and a letter from them. So Bell has set off at this point in time to the city of Orario and has been traveling around the world for 2 years. Bell was, let's say, probably a year younger than Eyes. So he was 13 when he was set in by his guard. So he was highly trained at that point. He was highly trained by the Sheikah, and he has done his job good. And so he's traveled off from Hyrule and spent 2 years on the road with his horse. By the way, imagine the big ass black horse with orange mane that's like Ganondorf horse. Yeah, that kind of steed. That kind of horse he has. Bell has found one in the wild. The other one has passed away. The old king had one, but it passed away, and no foal of that kind was. But Bell found one in the wild when he was 12, so a year beforehand this incident. So he found one, tamed it, and brought it back. Wanted to offer it to the king and queen, but he was refused, and he had this horse for a year before he left. So it's been 3 years, and he's been traveling around mountains, roads, villages, even finding other races. He has sent letters back to Hyrule, talking about dwarves, elves, palums, and demi-humans. Different kind of people living across the big-ass mountains they could see far away from Hyrule. The main part of Hyrule. So he has been traveling for 2 years at this point, searching for the city of Orario. That is where we actually begin, and I'm sorry it took a little while, but I wanted to clear out the backstory here. So, We see a man on a horse having a cloak around him, but still showing his white hair and red eyes and his face, but his clothes is no one can see what it is. He's riding a black horse with orange mane on him towards a towering city with a tower, what he could see almost reaching the skies. This man is Bel Sukaromi, the almost middle child of the chief Paya of the Sheikah clan. Bel cranel has been traveling, like I said, 2 years in his journey. He has helped people out across the lands of Hyrule and Tenkai. No, that's heaven. Fuck, the name of the lands the gods called it. He has been traveling around across the many villages. He's found many people around this continent. He has found elves, dwarves, palums, demi-humans, Amazons that he thought actually was like Garudas at one point. We got to find out that they're different races, they're different race, but they were acting the same. So Bel has been traveling around the world, founding gods, goddesses, many different kind of stuff, helped a lot of them out. He has gotten some food, some items, and some other stuff he could have known, and a map from an old guy in a farming village that was quite perverted, and he, well, talked about a harem with Bel just knocking on the man's head. Probably, yeah, you can guess who that it was. And he was living with his, as he could understand, this man was a god. He's living with his children, some of his children, being 5 men and 3 women, 3 women and 5 men. There's 3 couples in that house. No, 4 couples. You can guess the other one. In that house that Bel actually helped out, and he has gotten a map to Aurario, and he asked from the old man about Goddess Hylia that actually shocked the man. He has gotten information about her. Goddess Hylia, for what he understood, for what he knows after he was last in the city, has not fallen at that time. But she has changed, for what you can say. Bel has been traveling around and is right now almost at the gates of Aurario. Bel looks down at 3 letters he holds in his hands. One has a red seal, one has a green, and one has a white one. Putting the letters away, he walks, his horse strides or walks up to the gates where there was a line, and he jumps off, landing on the ground and holding his horse's what it's called to... Fuck, I forgot what it's called. Shit, I don't know. He's holding the lean, or the lean... fuck. He's holding the rope that is, he can move the horse with him. So he's walking up to the gates, and everyone is kind of staring at him because he has for their perspective, A big motherfucking horse. And they have never seen that kind of, race of horse. And they only is looking at the horse because, well, for what the people understand, the Bell is a elf because of his ears. So Bell walks up to, after like an hour and a half, he walks up to the gates of Aurario and he walks up. He introduced himself to the guard and they ask if he is a part of a familia. He says no, but he has weapons on him. The guards ask them to show them. He shows the weapons and they're kind of surprised because they've never seen these kind of weapons. They have seen the styles of them from the east, but never this kind of weapon. They ask where he's from. He says, I am from the cross of the mountains to your north. I am from the kingdom of Hyrule. And these guards has never heard of the kingdom of Hyrule. When they ask a god that Bell has, after Bell was taken into an investigation room, after Bell was told that he has weapons, a god came in with a kind of elephant mask that Bell has never seen before, this animal. And the gods ask where Bell was from. He says it again. I am from your north, from the kingdom of Hyrule. I am a Hylian that has come to seek someone, or if they don't want to leave the city, he's gonna stay in the city permanently. For how long this person wanted to stay. The god, hearing this and getting the information that he is from Hyrule, he is kind of a Hylian, but there is a kind of truth and lie to that sentence. This god, as saying he's the god Ganesha, and he wants the full truth of what race he is. Bell said, I am Hylian, and showed his weapon's logo, and only the logo. It's a eye that is red, it's a red eye on the sheath that is not upside down. And the god knows what he is now. Alright then, I understand. Ganesha asks some more question. If he's gonna, do something bad, he says no. That was correct. If he's gonna stay here, that's a maybe. Also correct. If he's gonna stay here, what kind of job would he take? This is where Bell stops and thinks. I have no idea what exactly this city offered. I have heard there was a dungeon. Maybe he could tackle that. So Ganesha informed him about adventurers and all the other jobs. So Bell says, alright, I'll see. After getting released from the god's custody, Bell goes out to his horse, grabbing the lead and walking through the city. The god Ganesha looked at him and just thinks, things is gonna change for that little goddess. Bell walks through the city with his horse, him leading his horse, with people staring at it. He walks around and was searching for a building that Ganesha told him that was called the Guild. Bell has learned the coin language, that is the language, what it's called coin, I think. So Bell has learned about the learned about the language and how to spell it and read it. So Bell walks up near the Tower of Babel, where he was informed by Ganesha, and spot a building called the Guild. Walking up to the guild and making sure that his horse cannot move away, with it eating and drinking water outside, walking into the building and spotted some people walking around, not a lot because it's the middle of the afternoon. Like, not a lot of adventurers has gone up from the dungeon. Bell walks up to a counter where he sees a half-elf. Bells walks up and asks if he can get some help. The woman looked up and she smiled. Of course! My name is Aina. Can I have your name? Bell, Sukomi. I am here seeking a, goddess that can help me on my request. Request. Of my, that can help me out. Aina nodded and asked, which goddess are you searching for? It's a, goddess called Hephaestus. Aina looked at him with a confused look. You're looking for the goddess of blacksmith? Yes. I was informed by another goddess that she could help me out. If the person that is here now, if she's here, could, if she was down here, she could help me. The woman looked at Belle and then back. Yes, I can help with that. Belle just stood there and waited for a moment, with Aina coming back with the information of where Hephaestus was. This is the goddess's familiar home, but I don't think her familiar would introduce you to her. Don't worry, I will try. Thank you for the information, Miss Aina. You are very welcome. Bell walks out to his horse and walks away from the guild, with Aina looking at him and sighing. That is a weird man. You're telling me. The pink-haired co-worker of Aina walks up and leans on the table. I mean, did you see that elf? It was kind of weird, isn't he? You were telling me. Aina walked back and doing her paperwork, making a report about Bell and his interaction. Bell was walking for half an hour through the city, sighing as how big this city is. Castle Town is much smaller, but Jesus Christ. After walking for a little while, he sees the signs of the Hephaestus Familia. Walking up, seeing a place where he can put his horse, did the same thing at the guild, and he walks up to the, door and knocks on it. After like 5 minutes, a person walks up that is, opens the door, and it's a woman with black hair and a eye patch on her face. How can I help you? I was, looking for the goddess, Hephaestus here. Do you want to join our familia? But no, I'm just asking for some information that she probably knows about. You're not asking her to make armor for you? No, I'm just asking if she knows where a person is. That's all. I also have a letter from an old friend of hers. Bell pulls out the red letter he has on him and shows the woman. Alright then, follow me. Bell walks with the woman and she stops him before he actually gets into the house. First, put your weapons away. Bell sees a rack with some other people's weapons and puts it on a free one. He walks with the woman up the stairs and up to a, bigger hallway that looks more fancier, but he can still hear blacksmithing going on. Walking up to a door, she knocks on it, and a woman's voice came out of it. "Come in," comes out of the room. The woman walks in with Belle behind her. "Goddess, I have a guest here that's asking for information." That is odd. Why so? "He just asked for information about something and has a letter for you." Belle steps inside and walks up to the table where the goddess was. "And who might you be?" "My name is Belle Sukoromi, and I am seeking someone that maybe you know if she has come down from heaven." "You seek a goddess or a god?" "Yes, I seek a goddess." "About the letter." If I didn't say, the captain has said that this guy has a letter for her. "And the letter?" Belle hands it over, and Goddess Hephaestus opens the letter up and reads through it. After around 5 minutes, she puts it down and looked at her captain. "Can you please leave us alone?" Are you sure, Goddess?" "I'm very sure." "Okay." She bows and walks out of the room. "So you are a Sheikah?" "Yes." Quite interesting. "And you are seeking Hylia?" "Yes, I'm seeking Goddess Hylia." "Why? Why are you seeking her?" "It's not for the request of the king of Hyrule. It's more a see if our goddess have fallen from heaven." "So you're seeking your goddess for seeing if she would return to Hyrule, or if I could protect her. It's mostly personal stuff." "I see." "Yes, Goddess Hylia has fallen from heaven, but she goes by a different name." "Oh?" "She goes by Hestia, not Hylia anymore." "I've heard from another god that her name was changed." "May I ask why? I've never heard of this." "Goddess Hylia's name was changed to Hestia after she sealed away Demise, a corrupt god that she could only fight. We others were terrified of his power, but she wasn't." Sorry. "After a long fight with him, she sealed him away with the person she truly loved, and his sacrifice and her powers weakened her, but she wanted to make sure that the seal will be kept. She sacrificed a part of her. She sacrificed a part of her, making her weaker. And now her weakened state was called Hestia for so long that it has stuck to her. Newer gods like me didn't know she had a second name before we were told. Most of them doesn't even believe her. Goddess Hylia is very respected by the gods. May I ask then, where is she? Maybe some items the king and queen has brought along could help her out. She is in a abandoned church. She was mooching around my familiar home for quite a while, lazing around. Goddess highly lazily. Yes, she has a good, let's say, has some problems afterwards, but it has come down over the years. May I ask what items you would give Hestia? Bell pulled out a box from a magic bag he has and put the box on the table. It was like oh shit. It's like I'm just looking around the room and I'm spotting something that this no no that wouldn't work. Uh it's like a keyboard length. Like a normal keyboard, but it has buttons on the side, then the main keyboard, then the onto the right. It's a block, like a keyboard size box. So you can all do that. It's a keyboard length box that Belle puts on the table and opens it up to show Goddess Hephaestus the items, shocking her. These items were lost. I've heard myths, but Hephaestus wanted to, grab one of the items before Belle shut it. Only Goddess Hylia, not any other goddess or gods. Hephaestus looked shocked at the tone that Belle gave her. Fine. I'm sorry, but these items has been lost from heaven or Tenkai for thousands, maybe millions of years. Hestia thought them lost. Goddess Hylia must have thought them lost after the family kept it away from any evil for thousands or billions of thousand or millions of years. The goddess looked at the box and smiled. She would be proud and happy to see these items returned. Very well. The goddess stood up from her chair and walked around the table. Belle followed her, seeing that she wanted to show him. I will show where she is, but please, don't do her harm. I will be insulted that the god that I pray to, I would hurt her. I would not hurt the goddess that my lands is praying for. Hephaestus looked at him and smiled, walking out of the room, seeing the captain of the Familia. I'm going out. I'm visiting Hestia for a moment. Okay. He wanted to see her. Belle walks, with Hephaestus, and she tells a little bit about Hestia now, or Hylia. She's more clingy to the people she loves. Like she would, if she truly loved you, she would be jealous about a lot of things. That doesn't sound appropriate for a goddess. Oh, a lot of mortals and gods fall in love. Don't worry about it, child. Okay. They walked out of the Hephaestus Familia, walking to the streets after Belle grabbed his weapons and grabbed his horse. Hephaestus, seeing this horse, was kind of shocked. This horse is bigger than I thought. I tamed her a little while ago. Belle pats his horse head with the horse making a heavy noise. She has been traveling me for... What was that? She has been traveling with me for 3 years now. Well, a year in my kingdom and 2 years on the road. Hephaestus nods at this and walked with, well, Belle. After some few, hour and a half an hour and 5 minutes, 35 minutes. Sorry, 35. Good damn. My body hates when I say 35 minutes. They walked for 35 minutes down the road to a abandoned sector of Auraria. Walking in there, they walked down the abandoned streets, arriving at a abandoned church. She's in here, but be ready if she asks questions. I will. Belle put his horse around I think there was a tree outside of the old Hestia Familia home. Walking into the church, Belle sees, well, it was quite ruined and didn't see where the goddess could sleep. But Hephaestus walked up to a hidden door and pounded on it. Oi, Hestia! I want to talk! Some little sounds comes from down the secret door and comes up to where well, Hephaestus was. Belle sees the goddess in her form. Her having long black hair down her back to her above her buttocks. Above her butt. She looks a little ruffled with her clothes almost being ripped at some points in her outfit. Her chest area being holding up by a string. Hephaestus, I didn't know you would come today. I didn't have plans to. Maybe in a week or two. But someone asked about you, and he's here to talk to you. Hestia looked confused and looked at the man that was standing behind Hephaestus. She walked aside with the man walking up to her. Hello, Goddess Hestia, but I must ask, do you prefer Hylia instead? Hestia, hearing her first name, stopped for a moment. You are a Hylian. You are a Hylian, but the calamity, I saw it. She walks up to Belle and grabbed his face, turning it around and each way looking at him. The calamity destroyed the kingdom almost 200 almost. The calamity was defeated almost 54 years ago. Hestia stops and looked at Belle. 54 years? Yes, almost 54 years ago. Our king woke up from his slumber after the calamity destroyed our kingdom. He traveled around Hyrule and defeated evils around the world, around our kingdom. He defeated Calamity Ganon with the help of the Queen of Hyrule. But no. But that was the last thing, but there was a bigger threat. You mean the Ganondorf? Hestia and Hephaestus were shocked. They knew about the calamity, but not the upheaval. You mean the first uh, servants of demise? He was defeated as well by our king and queen. Hestia looked at Belle with shock on her face. You're telling me all of Demise's powers are gone? I hope so. I have no idea if other evils is around our time. You know, Demise is gone. My children. Hestia cried a little, knowing that it was finally done. But what are you, their son? Oh, no. Like I said, my name is Belle Tsukuyomi. Belle showed his outfit underneath the cloak that even Hephaestus hasn't looked at because it was actually quite covering him. Showing the armor of showing his armor off. I am a servant of the royal family. I am a Sheikah. The Sheikah's alive. Oh, I know my children will be alright with the Sheikah around. But why are you here then? I requested to come seek you out if you were here. Hestia looked at Belle's face with worry on it. You don't have to tell me why. You wanted to seek me out. To ask if you would come back to Hyrule. But the king and queen would accept if you wanted to stay in this city. They want me back if I was found. Yes, but if you don't want to, they wouldn't judge you, Goddess Hylia. Okay, that is weird to see a person speak my real name. I don't think I am ready to go back to Hyrule. Hestia walks over to one of the old seats and sat down. Belle walking the side of the chair. I have done some bad stuff to help my children. I have done dumb stuff that almost harm my children. I don't believe I deserve right now to go back home. And I don't think I could see the land where my husband took his last breath. Belle looked at Hestia, that looked out to the sky. But I understand, and the royal family does as well. But they also wanted you to be known that you are welcome back if you want to, Goddess Hylia. Of course my children wanted me back. They also sent a gift to you. One thing I believe that would interest you. Hestia looked at Belle with a confusion in her eyes. Belle picking out the box from, well, picked out a box, the same box that he showed Hephaestus, and held it out to her. Well, going in front of her and kneeled down. Going on one knee and handing out the box to her. This is the gift from Queen Zelda of Hyrule and King Link of Hyrule. Hestia, hearing the names of two children of hers, cried a little from hearing the old names. Picking the box with trembling hands, with Hephaestus watching her with a smile, opened the box to her shock. Inside of the box were around 5 items. Yeah, let's say 5 items. 2 of them is the iconic holders of Hestia's pigtails. The items that's making pigtails in her hair. The other one, Hestia, seeing this, picked them up and looked at him. Those are personal items from the king and queen herself. They wanted you to have a gift, a personal gift, not items just returned to you. He put them beside her and looked at the 3 other items, being 2 bracelets that looks like pearly pink blue coloring that is supposed to go on your wrists, having the logo of, Hyrule on them with the Triforce inside of it. By the way, it's the same bracelets that the Zelda from Skyward Sword has when she's wearing the white praying dress. Picking up the 2 bracelets from the box, she trembles in shock to feel her old power, her old love inside of it. These are the items I gifted to one of my children. She put them on immediately, feeling the part of her she gave away coming back to her. Little by little after every second. The last item in the box was a white veil kind of item with blue lines across it, with small hairpins that can click into Hestia's hair. Imagine the goddess statues, by the way. The goddess statues with the veil going down. Imagine how the goddess statues look. And how it's kind of covering up some of her hair. It's that kind of item, but it mostly flows and covering the hair from the almost in front, but covering mostly what's on the back, like a flowing hairdresser or something. Hestia shook as she picked up her old hair item. I don't know what it's called. They are returned. Hestia put the box aside and walked forward over to the middle of, the church. Finding it inappropriate to sit down, putting this one on. Hestia made threw the, item back from her from the front, and it flowed down, covering up her hair. Opening the hair clippers that can click on her hair. She shook when she does this, and after clicking on, a shockwave that just went around the church, by the way. The other gods couldn't feel it. They could feel it if they were in the building or just a few meters outside. But Hephaestus could feel the power flowing through Hestia. And this power was changing Hestia quickly at this point. The powers from the bracelets and the items she wore so long ago changed her back into goddess Hylia. After some few moments of standing there in front of the light, she turned around and Belle could see that Hestia and Hylia is alike, very much alike. Imagine it's the face of Hestia, but she is more, instead of her clothes being ripped up and everything else, it has repaired itself, covering up her cleavage. Well, the cleavage that people could see, but now is covering up her chest area and everything around, making her have sleeves again, going down. I will just find a picture. Give me a moment. Alright. This is the Hylia or Hestia. But imagine on the lower part of her hair in front, instead of them just being rope, the little bells that's in her Hestia's original design are actually at, and the hair tips are actually turning black to Hestia's black colors. But this is how Hylia, aka Hestia, looks like after putting on her items. By the way, I will leave the link where I found art, so don't worry, this is not my art. I will leave a link. After breathing in for a few moments, Hylia turned around to look at Hephaestus and Belle, with Belle bowing on the ground because of the power that Hestia let out after putting on her items, and Hephaestus looking at, Hestia with shock and awe upon her face. "Dear niece, why do you look at me like that?" "Oh, you talk very different, and Hestia." Hestia smiled at Hephaestus and walked up to her. This being that Hephaestus is fucking tiny. I mean, like, if Hestia was... Oh shit, how tall is Hephaestus? Shoot. Wait. Height of goddess Hephaestus from Danmachi. How the fuck can you hear me? Height of goddess Hephaestus from Danmachi. Goddess. Oh. Okay, I'm just gonna... Goddess Sorry. Give me a moment. Okay, so I went online trying to figure it out. Her face is 165 feet tall, or 65 centimeters tall, aka 5 feet. 5 feet tall. Hylia is 6'5". Fucking tall, by the way. She's 6'5" tall after putting on her jewelry. And that is. Give me. Feet too high. Okay. Yeah, no. 6'5". 198.12 centimeter high. Yeah. So if Hestia is fucking tall at this point in time, her face is looking up at this point at her old friend with, or her aunt with, "Oh my god, you're higher than me now, look. Why do you look weird, niece? Your attitude and you're very tall, Hestia." Hestia looked around, well, looking from the right side and to the left, looking at her. "It's been quite a while since I've been in my true form. And I must thank you." Hylia walked up to Belle and kneeled down to him. Belle looking up at, well, Hylia with her smiling down. Thank you very much, my child. It's no problem, goddess. Don't be shy. I'm not gonna bite. And I'm not, well, very interesting in my children, as you might say. Of course, Goddess Hylia. Now then. Hylia stood up, brushing off the knees when she knelt down to grab Belle's. Well, Hylia went down on her knees, grabbing Belle's face, making him look up at her. Now then. It seems that I have to move to a better place. Oh. Belle pulled out a letter that has the white seal on it. This is a letter from an old friend of yours. An old friend? Hestia picked up the letter and opened it open it. After reading for a few minutes, Hestia smiled. Astria, you old friend. You looked out for me, even when you were long away. Hestia smiled and looked at Belle. Thank you, my child. For everything you will do for me. Even though I don't deserve it, I'm still thankful. All for you, Goddess Hylia. You are the goddess of everyone in Hyrule. Even though we're long away from the land I grew up in, you are still the goddess of everyone there. Everyone still respects you, even all the other races. I see. They all pray for me, even though I can't hear them anymore. Yes, everyone still do. I'm thankful my children still trust me over these many years of my faults and failures. Hestia looked at Hephaestus and spoke. My dear niece, do you mind going down and picking up my items? I am looking at the doorway and looking back at her. Quite too big now. Of course, goddess. Of course, Aunt Hestia. She walks over to the door and walks down below. And you do trust that this building is still around? Belle nodded and smiled. Yes, she told me that she made a person always cleaned it up. She's still paying her today. After some few minutes, Hephaestus comes up with a bag with Hestia's stuff. Now, I do believe I'm not, important anymore. Belle bowed to Hephaestus. Thank you very much for helping me, Goddess Hephaestus. Don't bow, I'm quite fine. And I feel quite good helping out my aunt. Belle smiled and nodded at this, walking out of the church with Hestia and Hephaestus. Hestia, seeing Belle's horse, was quite surprised. Isn't this... This is Ganon's horse. Child, how did you get his horse? It is? It's a rare breed of horse in Hyrule. The last one died a few years ago, and I found this one roaming around nature, so I tamed her. Hylia walked up to the horse that looked back at her. Mighty fine horse. I do not feel his malice. Hestia smiled at Belle. This horse cares for you very much. It does. Do you... No thanks. Hestia walked beside the horse and Belle. By the way, Belle's height is quite Belle is like 5'6", 5'7", let's say that. 5'7" tall, like a little bit taller than Hestia. Maybe the same height as well. Maybe a little smaller. So yeah, I think Belle is 5'7" this time. Walking beside Hestia. Hestia, by the way, is... or Hylia is hiding her wings in her veil. They walked through the streets and everyone saw Hestia and how she looks. Everyone knew that this was a goddess, but no one knew who it was. Belle still having his cloak and not, hiding his, clothes underneath. People only spotted the horse and Hestia, not Belle. That is the purpose of him. After walking for around 15 minutes, they arrived at a beautiful house that was, was there. A woman was, Belle could see a woman in the garden fixing up everything when they walked up to the house. Belle walked up to the gates and knocked on it, making the silver-haired woman shocked. Looking back to spot the two people there, she was shocked to see that people was here. This is private property. Do you Do you need anything? She stood up and walked over to the gate. Belle spotted she had silver hair and... Well, you can guess who the fuck it is. It's Seer, aka Freya. Freya looked at Belle when he, well, handed over Hestia's leather. This might explain things. The woman looked down and looked and read the letter. After some few moments looking shocked, she is giving you the house. Yes. The girl opens the door and walked out and looked to see Hestia or Hylia by the side of the horse. Seer stopped for a moment looking at Hestia that when she looked back, spotted something. Oh my! It's good to see you, Freya. Wait, you know her, Goddess Hylia? Yes, I truly do recognize a goddess when I see one, even in disguise. No one, by the way, is around the street right now. After hearing this, the girl kind of went shocked and immediately looked around to spot that no one was there and immediately waved them in. Belle grabbing his horse and putting in the garden at a tree. Hestia walked into the house with Seer when Belle walks in and then felt... So, you have a bodyguard all the time, do you? Seer looked back in sorry, if you heard that. Seer looked back in shock when Belle said that. I have a... Belle pointed, well, right beside him where Utter, shocked by the way, looked at Belle as well. You spotted me. Yes, of course. Even though you're fast, you're not great at stealth as a Sheikah. He looked shocked for a moment and blinked, and then Belle was gone from everyone's sight. Only, well, Seer's and Utter's sight. Hestia looked beside her, and when Seer looked there when she spotted Hestia, or Hylia, looking there to spot Belle beside her. You are a Sheikah. Yes, I am. Shocked for a moment, Seer, aka Freya, shook her head and released the hallucination from her, making her turn back into Freya, wearing the she's wearing the clothes that she was wearing, a kind of garden kind of... No, she's wearing the same kind of clothes she was wearing in the original canon state with Belle. After Freya transformed back into... Well, after Seer transformed into Freya, Freya looked at Hestia in shock. Hestia, you are back to Hylia. It's quite shocking, isn't it, old friend? It truly is. Freya walked forward and hugged Hestia with a big hug. Hestia had to, well, bend a little down to hug, well, Freya. When I last saw you, you were still in your Hestia form. Freya looked down at Hylia's hair, spotted the color of Hestia's hair. But it seems that you still have some few features. Ah, yes. Hylia looked at her hair. I've been such long in my, well, depowered form that it has affected my body. Maybe I do prefer it like this. Shows both sides of me, doesn't it? It does. But Freya turned to Belle and looked at him, with him not reacting at all to her. You are a Sheikah, like you said. Yes, I am Sheikah. I am a royal Sheikah that has seeked out Goddess Hylia. Freya walked over to a couch in the manor, or in the Starlight Manor, that you can probably guess it is, and sat down on a couch, with Hestia sitting, well, across from her, others standing behind Freya, with Belle doing the same. It's quite shocking that Hyrule is still going and still living after the calamity almost 50 years ago. It has survived over the years, after the king and queen rebuilt it. I requested to seek out Goddess Hylia after I heard of the city of Aurario. I see. You were betting on that Hestia has fell from Tenkai. Yes. That does explain the form and the lost items of Hylia. And I am quite shocked. Freya, still having the letter of Astrias, not Astrias. Astraea, the goddess of justice, holding up the letter and reading it. You met not Astrias. Astria. Yes, I met her. I helped her new familia a little bit out when I was staying with them. She gave me the letters to explain everything. I see. Freya sighed and looked. I have the keys to the house. It's still in my name after she left. I will give this house to you, but it will be under the table that no one will know. I highly respect her, even if she has been gone from Aurario for many years. Utter, do you mind? Freya grabbed a paper from, Utter has a paper on it, and she wrote down some instruction for, the guild that was holding her money and items. Do you mind doing this? You do have a bank account at the guild. I do. It doesn't have much. I have tried to get members, but it was quite hard. I can understand. After Freya gave the letter to Utter, he walked over to the door and disappeared. Now, we have quite a bit to catch up with, Hestia. Or Hylia. I have two names, and I respond to both of them. So please, you can call me Hestia if you want, Freya. Yes. Hestia. So, if you ladies don't mind, I will check out the house. Belle walks over to a clothing hanger and put up his cloak and weapons. Freya, seeing, Belle's physique, kind of had a little tinge of a blush on her. Belle walked away from the two women that were sitting on the couch, with Hylia smiling at her. You seem enthralled with my new child. Yes, he has a unique soul, but darkness around it. It shines like You can see through it. I can see my child has a problem, yes. He told that he went out after an incident in his in Hyrule. I believe seeking me out and trying to find me will redeem him the action he took in Hyrule. Do you know? No. And well, one thing you need to know. The whole dating a goddess thing is not sounding it sounds inappropriate to Belle. Oh. And he doesn't seem affected by my charms. He's a Sheikah, what can I say? They're trained to not be manipulated. That is very sad. You are still looking for that man you will always be with. Yes, I am. Well, that will take a while for us gods and goddesses to find a true love for us. You can talk. You had a husband. I did. But remember, he did sacrifice himself for me and our child. Yes. And I do feel sorry for you. I do feel sorry for myself. Well, anyways, let's have a little chat, for old time's sake. Freya smiled and nodded. Let's do, old friend. And that is gonna be it from maybe this part 1 or just a one-shot of this series. I hope you guys enjoy this. Good morning, goodbye, farewell, see you later. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Remember the poll. I have forgotten to put up the poll, by the way. I am so sorry. I've kind of forgotten this the few times these 2 weeks. It is what if Belcronel, what if Danmachi was a video game? What if Belcronel was an item maker? What if Yuzuku Midoriya was the reincarnation of Link? That is the 3 polls up. Go vote. And the Q&A questions are still up. So please leave a question in the Q&A one if you have a question for the series, something I want to, or about my video games, or anything. Read the rules. I hope you guys will enjoy this video. Good morning, goodbye, farewell, see you later, have a wonderful, wonderful time, my blue masks. Bye-bye!